The Bofors Tornvagn is probably the most frustrating premium tank in World of Tanks to play for you and to play against. This is due to the fact that this thing has absolutely stupid level of armor, but also stupid levels of gun handling and gun feeling. And this is what we are going to have a look at in today's review. Before you ask, I did play 10 games in the Bofors Tornvagn, so I get a proper feeling of it. I've won 50% of them, I have 2428 damage per game, but I do have to say, the fact that I only won 50% of the games definitely impacted my performance. There were games where I had 3000, 5000 damage, but I had also some games where I just had 800 or even 400 damage. So far, I feel it incredibly hard to feel and play consistent in this tank. Equipment wise, I've been running a stabilizer, a turbo and a rammer, as well as an aiming unit, a stabilizer and a rammer. I used to use normal equipment until the last two games where I switched to bounty equipment. And with that out of the way, let's start with the part which is frustrating to you as the player of the Bofors Tornvagn. And that is its 120mm Bofors gun. It has 400 alpha, 515 with HE. It has APCR only, with 248 base penetration, which is great, and 297 of premium penetration, as well as 60mm of HE penetration. Already here we come to a conclusion that this tank is poorly balanced. Why? Because there is literally not a single, yes, not a single downside for you as a player to not spam premium rounds. The APCR has almost 50mm more penetration. It has 450 meters per second better shell velocity. So what's the point of even using standard rounds when you want to get the best out of this tank? If the premium would have been 300mm of heat, the changes would be completely different. Because then you would start to think, yeah, heat, auto bounce might be better, yes, but sniping would be bad. You know, that is poorly balanced. Next up, you have a base DPM of 1600. Yes, 1600 because you have 15-second base reload time. Yes, you are able to push that down to around 12-ish seconds, 12.2 seconds with premium consumables, with bounty equipment, and with a rammer and vents probably, and a good crew. But it's still incredibly long, and you barely scratch 2000 DPM. I don't mind bad DPM. If you watch my quick review or my shorts review of the Mutant, I did say that the tank is not bad even though it has bad DPM. The problem about the Bofors is that he has incredible poor gun handling. The aim time is 2.3 second base with a base accuracy of 0.44. Yes, in the field modifications there is a way for you to boost its accuracy, which I highly suggest because the aim time is actually not that bad. The other problem, however, with the Tornvagn is that, sadly enough, the accuracy on the move sucks balls. Literally balls. On the move, it might not be that bad. 0.14. That is actually really good when you're just moving your hull when you're driving around. Compare that to the Defender. The Defender, on the other hand, now this one, it has 0.24. That is miles worse. However, the Tornvagn has 0.25 accuracy on its turret, meaning as soon as you start changing your accuracy or changing your aim with your turret, you're going to experience a huge bloom. That is incredibly frustrating because in close range situations, there are many situations where you most likely just have to readjust your aim to hit a cupola weak spot. Or in long ranges, you have to predict incredibly well what the enemy is going to do, because as soon as you start to adjust the gun again, by just moving your turret, the bloom is going to be absolutely insane. Compare this to the Defender, which has 0.12 turret accuracy. It's really frustrating and really annoying to actually use. Yes, you do have 10 degrees of gun depression, we get to that in just a second with the armor, but the gun wise, it's literally puker's level of annoying and frustrating to play. So let's move over to the armor model. And this is where it gets frustrating for the enemy, because the armor in many cases is completely unfair. And that's also something which I just noticed when I was playing the Tornvagn. 260 A 100mm lower plate, which is super easy to penetrate, everybody can penetrate that. So if you're out of position, easy. But 260 upper front plate, or 70, depending if you want to use that as upper front plate. 200 here, 250, 280, middle finger. So if we go to the collision or the live model, you can see Tornvagn versus Tornvagn versus Tornvagn is you only have here or here. In a hold down, it's middle finger. You don't have a chance of penetrating him. You can only penetrate him at the King Tiger weak spot, below the tracks. That's it. And suddenly, with premium rounds, even this upper front plate armor is becoming green. But don't forget, the Tornvagn does have great premium penetration. What about the new Caliban? With HE, you should be able to penetrate this. You can penetrate this, but nothing else. With AP, oh, a lot of green. 703 version 2. Green, 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 otherwise it's red. Suddenly it starts to get tough because you have heat with only 270mm of penetration. Yeah, 36% here, and here will be hard because of this huge gun breach, or not gun breach, recoil dampener. Defender, green, green, same weak spot as always. And with premium rounds, 35%. Yeah, that's the thing. You basically, as the Tornvagn, have to hope that the enemy has incredible bad premium penetration. And then, if you're standing hold down, you can just do like this, ha 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 ha, and they cannot do jack shit against you. Well done, Wargaming. Great balancing. A tier 7 tank like the IS-2, plus -1 matchmaking by the way, has no chance of penetrating you. He can only damage you here, if he hits that, because it's slightly above this fat plate here. Even with premium rounds, he has not a single chance of penetrating you. Such a bad balancing type of way. Giving it bad gun, but giving it incredible bonkers armor, which can only be penetrated reliable, and suddenly reliable, by premium rounds, especially if they're a higher pen. Then add to that, it is incredible weak on the side armor. 50mm right here means a KV2 with AP can overmatch you, even if you show it like this. We have a 40mm plate up here. 30mm right here and 25 here. Means you are an arty target number 1. Like seriously, arty is just going to shit on you and you're going to get damaged over and over and over. What is this? Why does it have 50mm of armor side? That is bad. I guess that is to compensate for its ridiculous front armor. But really? Not even 60. So a KV2 couldn't overmatch it with AP. So stupid. I can't tell it differently. And lastly, yes, you have 1600 hit points. With field mods 1650, which is ludicrously much. However, the front houses 3 critical components. The transmission, because as you can see, this is the road wheel which drives the track. Fuel tanks, because it's the Swedish tank. And the driver. So have fun burning after the first shot. Absolutely poorly balanced. In any case, if you are enjoying the video so far, please consider subscribing. We are 600 subscribers off of 13,000 people, which would be an amazing number to achieve, because that would be more than 3 times as many people than my little city, than my little village I live in has people. That would be pretty cool. In any case, let's move over to the mobility. And the mobility is bad. 11.5 HP per ton ratio, 32 kph top speed, 12 kph in reverse. And that is why I usually use a turbocharger on this tank. It simply helps with its atrocious mobility. I don't have it now yet in its mobility slot because I still have to unlock that one. After 10 games I didn't have enough XP to get to 69,000, which I needed to unlock all the field modifications, as I had only 50% win rate here and there. Mobility is really not good. You also are slow to turn, and as soon as your engine goes poof because of the transmission going poof, you will be even slower. So this tank, it's almost mandatory to have a big repair kit. With the turbocharger, however, you go up to around 37 kph top speed, 15 kph in reverse, and around 12.5 HP per ton ratio, which is more than acceptable to use and abuse enemies with. Lastly, Viewrange and camouflage. It is chunky, it doesn't have any camouflage at all. 360 meters of view range is just poor, meaning, yeah, you're blind as a bat. And even with a great crew and even with ratios, but no vents or no optics, you only get 339 meters of view range. So, in any case, let's wrap up the Bofors Tornvagn. This tank is frustrating to play for you and frustrating to play against. You have to battle it out with a really poor gun, with atrocious gun handling and DPM which is not adequate, especially for the gun handling, where meanwhile the enemy has to battle it out with your armor, which is impenetrable if you are hull down and they don't have premium rounds above 280 millimeters of penetration. You have weak spots sideways, yes, but that's it. Yes, you are burning quite a lot because of the frontal mounted field tanks, which is very annoying to you as a player and to you as a player. Again, frustrating. Mobility, nothing to write home about. I don't understand this tank. I would have loved seeing this tank on tier 9 with a better gun and better mobility and the same armor and called it a day. Because the armor on the turret is worse than the one of the Concept 1B, even though the Concept 1B has a weak spot on the turret. But how this tank is at the moment, I came to the conclusion with the people I talked to from Wargame which played this tank and with Swidman from Fame that it's simply not good. I cannot recommend it. Yes, it is a great crew trainer, don't get me wrong, it's perfect, especially because the Emil 1951 is not being sold anymore. It's a perfect crew trainer for the Swedish tech line. But what's the point? When you are just frustrated of playing this tank and you're frustrating your enemy to play this tank. It's incredible poorly balanced. Sadly. Really sad. I don't understand why Wargaming didn't give it worse hull armor or something, but better gun handling or something. I even think at this point, after playing it a lot, those 10 games rather, not a lot, that giving it a better gun would have been a more than adequate buff. But I think this tank would have needed a complete rebalance to tier 9 to make it more viable. Because let's be honest, Wargaming already showed that it can make tier 9 premiums. So why not make this one as well? Because the Stridswagen K was already there. In any case, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this tank. Don't forget to check out my other videos, maybe my quick review of this tank, or potentially the gameplay video the gameplay commentary I'm going to upload very soon, where we did 5,600 damage. And it also showcases how this tank behaves in battle. Thank you so much for watching, subscribe, like, share, and I'll see you around. Cheers, my dudes.